Ah. Soundboard Sundays, episode 34. Just open it up for a little bit. We're going to get this thing started at 3. It's actually 3 right now. We're going to give it a little bit of time for folks to come on up in the room. What's up, Tim Brook? How you doing, sir? We do this every Sunday, weather permits. And we're live. We do this every Sunday. Soundboard Sundays, bringing musicians, emerging music producers, and emerging songwriters, recording artists to the same page. That's what we dedicate this live show towards every Sunday. What up, bro? So I'm going to wait for my co-host to come on, get up in the room real quickly. And we got things to do. We got things to talk about. We have some things to talk about today. Because mental health is just something that we're struggling with. And the more that rappers and music producers and musicians are opening up, we're finding out that people are struggling from mental health. Not only that, but then sometimes we're finding out that people are struggling from mental health after they leave this earth, from suicide, or from doing something to somebody else and ending up in jail. All right, that's the wrong time. So today is Mental Health Day. We dedicate let me get my guy up in here, my co-host, one episode per month to Mental Health Day. I'm a little toasty. We'll turn this heat down. You guys, mental health is mental. Yo, whoever this is right outside, yo, fix your alarm. They out here wilding. Second time this alarm's gone off. Yeah. She came out with the good white face. That joke. Sorry, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Culturally, that's just what it is. Fix your car, lady. Fix it. Fix it now. All right. Guys, Max, are you in here? Come on, Max. Let's get you in there. I'm going to wait for my co-host to come on up in here. If you are watching this, please share this thing with at least 2 other people. Share this live with 2 other people, preferably in the music space. But it does not have to be. Mental Health Day, we open it up to the floor to our friends, to people who we don't know, who are soon to be friends of ours, because this thing is really serious and we got to get this thing out in the forefront. We have to stop, like Corday's song. I can't think of the name of the song, but he's got a line where it's like, we're suffering in silence. And we've got to stop suffering in silence. IG tripping again, sent the request. Okay. Let me try to get you in here, Max.
There.
Troy, what's good? There you go. Okay.
How's it going?
Man, it's going well, bro. It's going well. Let me see. Let me get this camera right here.
All right.
Legendary Daniel, what's good? What's good? What's good, folks coming into the room? Listen, it is Mental Health Day today. We're going to stay with the theme of how the protocol of how we operate Soundboard Sundays. Soundboard Sundays, guys, is a place for emerging musicians, emerging music producers, and a rising singer-songwriter recording artists to come together, come on the same page, get some, building a community here, learn some stuff, get some game, get some things together. So if you're coming in for that, we love you, and we want you to be here, right? Also, we're going to open this thing up probably in a few minutes for folks to come live with us. So make sure that you press a 1, put a 1 in the chat if you want to come live. All right. So, yes. Soundboard Sundays, episode 34 is sponsored by I Am a Music Producer Affirmations audiobook. The link is in my bio. My idea is that you, the music producer, need to master your mind so that you can master the music, right? Build that confidence. Have a system for yourself so that when you're not feeling motivated, you're able just to run the system of positive thinking on a consistent basis, right? So that link is in my bio. This Soundboard Sundays is sponsored by that. Max, is there other sponsorship for the Soundboard Sundays? What you got?
Yes, my sponsor, sponsored by How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist, a guide to position yourself in a new digital entertainment economy. That's my ebook. And for those of you who want to know more about it and what this ebook talk about, is simply to help you attract more gigs and become a lot more professional when it comes to performing gigs. You want to know how to write an EPK, what it is and why is it important. You want to know how to position yourself right in front of the right audience whenever there's a drought, whenever you're not able to perform at local settings or even in physical settings, you know what I mean? And certain things you want to know when it comes to the digital space, such as owning your IP, domain name and whatnot. So just make sure you click the link in the bio at the moment you get the book. Once you get the book, you'll get a 15-minute consultation, but that's going to be for only another week and a half. We're just going to give you guys one more week and then we're good. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so that 15-minute consultation is expiring in a week, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. The free consultation, is it a free consultation or?
Yes.
Okay.
So that would be a free consultation once you get the book.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So the next thing that guys that we do for folks just joining us today, for the new folks just joining us today, we have our intro, but then we also have our book bars. So the books that we happen to be reading at the time, we talk about them, right? Because readers are leaders, and that's what we are dedicated to doing. Everybody on this live today, we are looking for you all to be leaders, to become leaders in your area of expertise, in your field, in your realm, in your circumference. Why? Because there's enough money out here for everybody to get it. Literally, there's enough money out here for everybody to get it. But you need to be a leader in your environment, right? So you need to be a leader. All right. So Max, what you got? What you got? Where you reading from? What you got?
Yeah. So I'm reading at the moment "Never Split the Difference" by the author Chris Voss, and at page 218, that would be chapter 9. Sorry, 216, chapter 9, and it's the second paragraph. At the bottom of the second paragraph, he says, "But most important are those things we don't know that we don't know. Pieces of information we've never imagined, but that would be game-changing if uncovered." Then he says, "Maybe our counterpart wants the deal to fail because he's leaving for a competitor." And then he says, "These unknowns are black swans." Essentially, what he talks about are some black swans when it comes to get into a deal, right? Figuring out ways to get your counterpart or understanding your counterpart's truest intentions. And sometimes what we tend to forget that the black swans are some things we don't know that we think we know, but actually we don't know. Like, for instance, he just gave the example of, "Oh, you know what? I may not want to do this deal with you because I don't want this to success. I don't want this to be a success because I have someone else who could give me a better deal or who could give me a better price." And those are things you want to consider whenever you engage into a potential business relationship or any sort of relationships.
Yeah. Those the black swans, that was an amazing part in the book. And that just kind of comes from just talking to people. Like you need to just talk to people. Mary X Canada, how you doing?
Hey.
How you doing? Hate you. So it just comes from just talking to people and really being interested in the person. Because if you're not really interested in the person, if the interaction is just transactional, like the person's gonna feel that who you're talking to. The person's gonna feel that, and they might not give you some of those really important key things that can help you in the negotiation, can help you get the upper hand, and not in a negative way, but can help you save some money, and make some money. You know, if somebody can reveal something that will help save you, you know, $20,000, $30,000, a couple $1,000,000, you know, and whatever happens to be, that's, you know, saving money is making money. I learned that from Robert Kiyosaki. You know, that was the first time I understood that you can save money, you've made money. You know, so yes, black swans. Black swans are extremely important. You need to talk to people, and you need to keep them talking so that they can reveal something that is important to you that they might not even know is actually important. So remember that. Okay, so my book bar is coming from this book right here. We Should All Be Millionaires by Ms. Rachel Rogers.
Yes, yes.
And so she's got a chapter. She talks about setting boundaries, right? When the book is geared towards women, and the book is geared towards like women changing their mindset. But in all honesty, y'all, this book is amazing for everybody, right? You know what I'm saying? I can look at this book being a student of history and say, Black folks in the U.S. got to read this book. You know what I'm saying? Beauty Track, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you for joining us. So, setting boundaries can be so difficult for us because I'm just speaking from our culture. We've got some of these culture narratives that, you know, our parents are always looking out for us, or your homies is always looking out for you, or your homegirl is always looking out for you, and that's not actually true. Right? Some of these people end up being energy vampires. I love that when they talked about that in the book, Never Split the Difference. They talked about energy vampires. I believe it was in that book. I believe it was in that book. But the whole idea is they're just coming to you to suck your energy dry. Okay? They're just coming to you to suck your energy dry. And after that, they're not pouring into you or doing any of those types of things. So my book bar comes from the section that says boundaries are solutions. Boundaries are solutions, and it's on page 68. And I'm gonna mix like two paragraphs a little bit together, just so you can get the full understanding. I can make it short. There are a lot of misconceptions about boundaries. Many people think a boundary is about controlling other people Many people think a boundary is about controlling what other people do to you and around you. This is not true. Boundaries are not about controlling other people in any way, right? And skipping on down. But what you can decide to do, boundaries are what you can decide, what you can do is decide how you are going to behave and what you are going to do in response to any given situation. You do not set a boundary to control other people's behavior. Boundaries aren't about saying no to other people. Boundaries are about saying yes to yourself. That's the bar right there. You know what I'm saying? Being able to, if you're like me, I'm found out and discovered through personal development that I'm a people pleaser, right? I want people to like me, right? And so what I found out is that when you want people to like you, you can sacrifice some of yourself, right? So that someone else can like you, and therefore you're not doing yourself or them any service because you're lying. You're not being 100% true to them as to who you are, and you're not being 100% true to yourself. And so you're not living in your true self. So you need to be able to know how to set healthy boundaries so that the people around you can best benefit, right? A gentleman told me, and I'll never forget this. When you say no to someone or something, you say yes to yourself and something else, right? And let that yes be to your success, all right? So that's the book boundary. I mean, that's the book bars for today. Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. Like, so often, bro, and I know that, you know, like so often I know that in the in African communities and stuff like that, you know, there's difficulty setting boundaries because it's like, you know, my parents are always right, and the parents aren't always right. Exactly. You know, like a lot of the times they're over, right? A lot of the times they're over here. They brought their culture to essentially another culture. And when you've grown up in this culture, right, you're first, second generation, or usually like first generation, but when you've grown up in the culture, you understand how to navigate in this culture, right? If you're a son or daughter of, you know, folks who are not from the country where you are at that moment, you know how to navigate more, right? So and some of that has to say, some of it's like, yo, to actually deal here, I got to be able to set boundaries with my family, because now I might not, you know, I can't come to this event, or I can't go to that because I gotta work. I'm pushing myself forward. I'm investing investing in myself. And that requires me not doing what culturally we might have done just for a little bit, but you got to set that boundary. The Pretty Crazy Podcast. What's good? What's good? The Pretty Crazy Podcast. If you have, we're talking about mental health today. So put a one in the chat. You know what I'm saying? If you want to share some wins, maybe even some losses, some things that you've learned about mental health and its importance, you know, in the creatives' lives. You know, we serve music creatives here, but, you know, people have come on and shared many things that they haven't necessarily been music creatives, but they've shared things that have definitely helped us a lot. So, guys,
right on.
Right. So today, again, we want to just chop it up with the folks, but today it is of sad news to find out that we have lost another musician, right, to a mental health battle. You know, this musician didn't have his mental check-ins, right? And the brother's name is Can you hear me? Am I echoing?
No, you're good.
Okay. The brother's name is Ian Alexander Jr. That's Regina King's son, the amazing actress Regina King's son. And what I find out is that he passed away. He took his own life on his birthday, which was what, yesterday or 2 days ago? Yesterday?
On Wednesday. Yeah, it happened. It happened to be on Wednesday. I looked at it. Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Right. So it happened on Wednesday. He took his life on Wednesday. What day was that? What day was Wednesday?
The 20. Just to get sure. Right here. Wait, Wednesday. Today we're the 23rd. Jeez, I can't even see that screen. Okay.
Does anybody know what day it was?
Jeez, let me see right here. It was on the 19th.
It was on the 19th. Okay. Now, the reason why I looked this up was Regina King had her birthday was on January 15th. This is tough. That is absolutely tough. And one thing I wanted to share with you, Max, because we talked about this offline a little bit, but we wanted to discuss it live here. And we're not clout chasing or anything like that. This brother's a musician, and he's from my demographic. You understand what I'm saying? And he's a young brother, right? Coming from a single parent household, it seems like, because they were married.
Divorced, yeah. Just
from past experiences, toxic relationships. Okay, the pretty crazy. If you would love to come on live, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're still here,
yeah, something
great happened, and we'd love for you to at least just come on and share some things with us, and what you learned, and how you overcame some of those things. Right? That stuff is. I watched Roxanne Shante last night on Netflix from 2018. That documentary, I mean, that biopic was absolutely amazing. It was done really, 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 really well. And just to see what that young sister went through, I mean, you know that they size things up for stories and stuff like that, for movies. But to see what she went through, I got you. The Pretty Crazy. We're gonna bring you on in a few minutes. Just hang on for a few minutes. I want you to come live, right? I got you in that request. We're gonna bring you on in a few seconds. The most interesting thing was that like there was this small part. There was this rape scene or whatever like that. She was a young woman, got taken advantage of, and I'm just like, yo, like the sisters, man, really like, really be struggling. Like the guy who is putting a woman through something in a toxic relationship, that brother usually has been dealing with something, right? That stuff don't come out of nowhere. That stuff don't come out of nowhere. It's cyclical. Hurt people. So I'm just sitting there like, like this is crazy. That Regina King just came from that. What was the movie, y'all? The movie that she was in is an amazing movie, Western movie. The harder they fall. Word. Yeah. She just comes off the heels of that. She just won an award for that. I think maybe 6 days prior to the young man killing himself. And I was just, man, like, oh man, this is tough. Yo, to bury a child. This is what she said, y'all. She said in an interview talking about her son, this is years back. She was like, yo, I never knew what unconditional love was like before I had my son. She's like, you think that you know, right? But you don't know. And so she's like, she really understood. That really brought full circle what her mother did for her. That's the power of having like children. I ain't saying that everybody needs to have children, but again, like it puts some different things into perspective. So I'm saying that because I hear brothers and sisters being like, I ain't having no kids. I'm like, yo, it's a different height and level of selflessness that you actually experience when you got that child. And to lose your child is unfathomable. To have to bury your own child is unfathomable. For somebody to be suffering in silence. Guap Juice, what's good? What's good?
What's happening?
Put a 1 in the chat if you want to, man, come on to the live and just, share your thoughts, share some of your wins, share how you overcame a difficult situation. We'd love to have you on. Max, if you want to say something really quickly, and then I'm going to bring on Miss the Pretty Crazy.
It made me think of how, when we always say people suffer in silence and we don't necessarily know what we don't know, like I said earlier. And when I look at some of his pictures, it makes you think of, okay, shoot, how can we define how true a smile is? How can we define how truly happy a person looks when they say, hey, I'm doing fine, I'm doing great? They could, share a lot of these emotions. But until you really, even if you spend a lot of time with these people, you ask them questions that could make them dive a little bit deeper, that could make them express themselves a little bit deeper. We don't truly know how a person really feels or how they're doing until we're actually able to study their patterns and see what type of actions they take on a daily basis, whether it's pills, alcohol, and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna say I'm pretty sure. I know it happened at one point with Juice WRLD. At one point, a lot of his team, his camp, was saying that they recognized some of the patterns that were getting a little bit more intense. Although sometimes you don't know when to intervene and how to intervene. So that's important.
Right. You start that self-medication. I'm like, I was out in Hollywood, and the self-medication, especially in the music industry, is, I mean, it's popping, it's happening off. Let's bring you on in real quickly.
It's deep.
Yeah, it's deep, man. We gotta talk about this. Miss Pretty Crazy, you coming up?
Pretty Crazy, aka Jordan. Yeah, that's Jordan.
Hi.
Hey, beloved, how you doing this Sunday, beloved?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
We are doing well. We are doing well. That's again a part of the mental health check-in is to say where you at on the spectrum. You know, disclaimer: we are not doctors.
Okay.
We are not therapists. We are not licensed therapists. If you're feeling a certain way, call a hotline, a suicide hotline, or reach out to a therapist. However, we have dealt with some stuff, and so Miss Pretty, which is, do you want me to call you Miss Pretty, or is there a name?
No, that's my name.
Okay, Miss Pretty. Okay, cool. So he talked about a toxic relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
What to you define that relationship as being toxic?
It was on and off. It was a push and pull situation. It was verbal abusive. It was emotional abuse. It was a lot. And I felt it was toxic because we just kept going back to each other, you know,
Right.
even though we knew we just was not a match. And it goes back to like self-reflection of myself, because when I stayed in that relationship, I honestly felt like I couldn't get any better.
Right.
So I stayed. And that's just I just take accountability of that, because obviously I didn't love myself at the time. And I just, you know, and I was looking for validation from him and love from him to fill the void that I didn't have for myself. And that was toxic.
I understand that. That's amazing, because that's amazing. I can really tell that you've grown a lot, because a lot of the times, women and men, I mean, men might not even be able to get down to the place where it's toxic, right? But the sisters, like, when you don't understand it, you're bound to repeat that same cycle again and again and again, right? So here's something else. In your personal development, what did you find out about how you grew up, or what gave you this understanding of, like, I'm not worth it right now, so I'm gonna, you know, subconsciously saying I'm not worth it right now, so I'm going to kind of almost like self-medicate. It's a way to self-medicate when we're in toxic relationships, you know, and things like that. It's the same way as taking a drug. It's like, I'm going to do this because I'm not feeling good about myself right now. So I deserve this in a way. What do you think happened, you know, growing up? If you've discovered that already.
It's definitely was daddy issues. And I noticed when I was a child, my daddy, you know, made sure I was financially taken care of. It was really never an emotional sit down talk like daddy daughter. It's just like, what do you need?
Right.
How much do you need? You know, I'm used to that. And I remember the 7-year-old me wanting to go, you know, my daddy making these promises. I'm coming to get you, or come get me. Come see, you know, I'm going to keep you for the weekend. And I will go knock on his door and no one will answer, or he wouldn't answer his phone. So it was basically a form of like neglect. So when I grew up, I started pretty much being attracted to men that reminded me of my father, you know, not giving me the emotional stability, but the financial stability. Right. And I wanted more than that. I wanted more of that for myself. And also looking at the past marriages that's in my family, I grew up thinking that pain is love. Like women are supposed to suffer whoever they're with, to make it shown like I'm worthy. I'm your ride or die. You're supposed to be with me. I can handle it. And that's just not the case. Like, love is not supposed to hurt you. Love is not supposed to neglect you. And love is not supposed to just give you money just to make you feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I would say going back, I have learned that was my trauma in my past. And that's what I was looking into men that I was dating. And I felt like, you know, at one time, you know, this man is doing this and doing that for me. He must really like me, but that's just not the case. Some men are just like that. That's just feeds in their ego. Yeah. You know, they prey on the weak. And at one time you can see that about me. I'm very vulnerable. I'm a much open book. So whatever I give them, they'll play a part and get to the point where I'm already attached. So they already know it's going to be hard for me to leave. That's toxic.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you made me think about how in the you saw the Roxanne Shante movie?
I did.
Right. So this stuff happened all the time, like where like the dude gonna like, beat you or do something wild and crazy, and instead of owning up to that and saying, yo, that was absolutely crazy that I did that, he gonna buy you some jewelry. And we have a really, really, really interesting, I feel like it's got to do with our relationship. I'm talking about, you in the States, right? You in the States?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I feel like it's got to do with some of our like lack of, maybe even financial stuff here as a whole, not saying you, but as a whole, where that's actually going to like kind of hold us. Like we're going to get a present or something like that, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I can't understand it because I didn't come from that whole lifestyle, but I see that time and time again. It's like, I'm just going to buy something. I'm going to buy your love.
Your
love.
Buy
that apology.
Yeah.
And that's what my dad used to do when he will say he's coming to get me on weekend and it never happened. It's like, oh, well, you need something, you need some money, and I'm a woman, I ain't gonna turn down no money, not for my daddy. But it's
right.
Like it got to the point where this is how this works. Okay. And I just got used to it.
Max, were you gonna say something?
No, well, I was just going to say to compensate for what the person is not able to bring to the table. But
right.
It makes me think of a question. Have you ever had this conversation with your father? Or
yes, I have. And he's it's sad that it's just now getting to be better. Me being in my 30s now, but that conversation did happen. I feel like my dad is still somewhat the same person. It's just I'm old enough to like, okay, that's just you. You're not really going to change. And, I love you. You're my father, whatever. But it's no need for me to keep dwelling on it. This is just the type of person you are.
Yeah.
I just know I don't want to have that same curse with my children,
Yeah.
Well, it's great that you've done your part. You've already expressed that with your father and had that conversation. That's already a plus for you. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that is amazing to to already have that conversation, like Max was saying. I mean, our parents. Somebody told me, I was like, I got my. That's the whole thing. The craziest thing is that when we look at it, like, do you know what happened to do you know what, like, your father's life was like growing up?
Yes. Actually, I do. And I think that's where I get my mental state of thinking from, because he was adopted.
Okay.
He was drafted to the Army. He went through 3 marriages. Huh?
Was he in Vietnam?
He wasn't in Vietnam, but he was like with them. Like he did communication. He wasn't like on the field. But he went through a lot. He went through 3 marriages. I would pretty much say, now that I know my father and I heard these stories and now looking at how he moves, I would say my dad is a nympho. Like he couldn't stay with one woman. So it's just, he had a lot going on, and just mentally. And I remember, and I'm an open book. I could tell you the truth. It was one point of time where I tried to attempt to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. And I was in a mental institution, and my dad came and visited me, and he broke down crying because he was like, I've been here before. I know where you at. Bye. So that kind of like open up the pot to be like, okay, this is where I'm getting this from,
right?
So that's how that happened.
So see, this one I'm trying to understand, right? Because I'll say that too. I had that same sort of, not the same thing with the father, but I had a time when I was like, yo, I'm done. I'm done with this like type of time right here. And you know, in our specific community, it's not something that's really kind of like talked about. Everybody's supposed to be strong. You got the strong black woman. You got the strong rock man who that ideal ain't really even like a whole thing anymore. That's like 2 generations ago or whatever like that. But no one really talks about the fact that, yo, I'm over here struggling wanting to end my life. What at that? So what I'm trying to figure out is this. Is because I'm 38, right? You know, I'm 38. So I feel like when I was down specifically in that place, you know what I'm saying? When I was down in that place, I was really like almost obsessed with like near-death experiences, you know, just like having dreams of, you know, all right, like what it's going to look like and this, that, and the other. And, you know, people coming to my funeral and, you know, all this, like I was really like there. Then something like snapped. Something snapped, and what snapped was, yo, you selfish as a mug. Let me tell you why you're selfish. This is in my brain. You're selfish because you don't even got no money for your funeral. Somebody's gonna have to pay for your funeral. Somebody's going, your family is going to have to mourn you after you end it all. Right? These are some of these things that I ended up hearing. So what I want to know is what got you here today?
I would say
you look good. You look good. You look like you're doing well. What got you here today?
I would just, of course, my kids, my children. But I would say every situation, every bad situation came out to be something good. You know, I learned from every situation. Don't get me wrong. I have my moments. I still do because, you know, I talk to a therapist, you know, I am going through what I'm going through, you know, but I just feel like I just feel like there's something out here for me that I need to be doing. And if I just end it and all the things that I just worked so hard for to get where I'm at now, it would just been for nothing.
Right.
But sometimes I do get into my phases where it's just not like I want to off, but it's just like, you know, I just have I get into these depressing modes, like, and I'm moving too slow. You know,
right.
I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. But I just feel like it could be a little faster. But yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful. So you have children. What have the children done for you in terms of your strength, your, I guess, duty to say, now I'm gonna keep going, you know, and how did that, you know, describe that for us, for the folks who don't have no kids?
It's just, I wouldn't want my kids to, you know, have to bury me or lose their mother. Because at the end of the day, I make this rock. I do everything around here. So if I'm gone, they don't have anything. But as far as that, my kids know when something is wrong with me. And I remember one day, and like I said, you know, I'm an open book. I remember one day I got my anxiety was like up the roof, and I started packing clothes because I think I was going to turn myself into like a mental place because I was just like, I needed to get away. And while I was talking to them, you know, I was telling them that, you know, hey, I got to leave. And they just started, you know, crying and, you know, like, are you coming back? Like, you know, well, what is it that I can do, or just stay? And just the look on their faces and get those reaction, like, you know, that kind of did something to me. Like, I don't want to lose my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, something is going on with my mom, you know. And, you know, I have teenagers. So sometimes when I get off from work, you know, the house not clean, I'm telling them to get up and do this. So now it's like, okay, mama fed up. Let me go ahead and do what I need to do because she about to, you know, blow up. And I ain't trying to lose my mama. So it's just like, yeah, it's like they understand. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. I truly do love our women and things like that, holding it down and
resilience.
Yeah, resilience. You know, I really truly do applaud you and say, like, you know, I mean, we've been through a whole lot. For you to get to where you are, like, as a culture here, we've been through a whole lot of stuff. And it's not by chance that you're here where you are. And it's a really, really, really big thing that you're here where you are right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? T's thoughts was good. It's a really, really, really big thing right now for you to be where you are right now after all that, like, we've all been through as a culture and what you've experienced in your own specific life. So I really applaud you. I mean, I'm feeling that. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling that right now. I love the fact that you.
I really appreciate you guys doing the whole mental health check-in thing. How often do you do this? Because I would love to check in every time.
We do this. We do this once a month because we're trying to work with musicians. You know, this platform is for emerging music producers and artists. So we give them game. I'm a music producer, music producer coach. Max has been an artist before. Max is also has an audiobook.
Yeah.
Teaches people how to track gigs. You know, so we're here to service the music producer community. But the thing is like, people keep committing suicide. You know,
I could say, like, me doing the podcast is very overwhelming. Even it was a time that I went viral. Like, that's a lot of stress. You know, people commenting in your DMs, you know, don't even know you from a can of paint and just telling you certain things about themselves just for it. And it's overwhelming. It makes it, I almost stopped because it was just too much. But I had to, you know, reevaluate myself and be like, you know, these people don't know me. You know, I just don't look at it. I try not to read the comments and I try to go on about my business. But I can honestly say, if I was famous, I could understand I get it. It's a lot.
Level of pressure.
It's a lot. I'm telling y'all right now, look, like, imagine right now, all the artists who are on right now, music producers and artists, imagine, like, by the end of this week or in a couple days, your favorite artist is like, yeah, come on tour with us. And you're in front of, by Wednesday, you're in front of 60,000 people. I don't think that people actually think about that. Like you were just saying there, sis, you know, like, people don't actually know how important it is to build slow. And then also to have your regiment to stay focused, because like you said, everybody don't know you. It's like, oh, you look, you know, like, I appreciate you and you look good, or I want to, you know, they don't actually know you.
Right.
That's what I tell myself. Quality is a lot more important than quantity, because look at the numbers. We're at 7 people, and I'm thankful for the fact that we have 7 people. It's just, and the reason why I'm saying this is because after a point, you know, when you get to 2,000 people, 3,000 people, it becomes like an echo. Everyone's saying the same thing, and you're like, okay, but who's truly taking this information serious and willing to apply what we're talking about? You know what I mean?
Right. It's Mayday MTL said music equals healthy life equals control equals love. Can you tell me, Miss Pretty, how do you incorporate music into your life, and how has it been a blessing for you? Because this is a music platform.
She's a big music head.
Let me tell you, I love music, and I said this one time to somebody. I was like, if we didn't have music, I would have been blew my head off long time. You need that. You need that. Like, and that's, I can honestly say, music has been getting me where I am today. Like, it's Mary J. Blige got this song. It's called Happy.
Yeah.
When I tell you, if I'm ever going through a moment and I just need to turn myself around, that song right there gets me to where I need to be. Because she says, "How can I love somebody else when I don't love myself?" You know? And it just Mary J has got me to have me stay out a lot of jail cells.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need that music.
We need it. We need the music, and I'm like, that's how. I mean, music is so imperative. Like, imagine trying to listen to that song, right? And you about to like go ride on somebody. It won't work. It won't work. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. Imagine like, you know, you like music. That's how important music is. It sends the vibe, sends the messages. Bob Marley is a musical hero of mine, and that's what he did with his instrument. Like, Bob Marley's music clinically has the power to people be tripping off like drugs, people be tripping off like LSD or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Marley's music has had therapeutic qualities to it to calm them down, to bring them down.
Yes.
That's what we talking about here. You know, it's deep. We got you. Genesis wants to come on live. Listen, shout out. What is your podcast, ma'am? So that
the Pretty Crazy Podcast.
The Pretty Crazy Podcast. Okay, now tell me about this. Because words of affirmations. They're like that. Why is it pretty crazy? I need to know.
I named my podcast that because, you know, I'm pretty and I'm crazy. And okay. I also have, you know, we all got two sides of us. That's why the image is, you got the pretty side, you got the crazy side. I can get both. So, but yeah, that's why I did that. And not just that, because, you know, borderline personality disorder, it plays a big part in it too. So, but yeah, that's why I named it that.
All right. Well, I love it. I'm like, I want to see the pretty peaceful side, but it is the THAPRETTI or TTY.
Yeah, it's TTY. Crazy is with the I.
Okay, Max put in the comments. It's the Pretty Crazy _ podcast. Go follow the Pretty Crazy _ podcast right now, guys. Ma'am, I appreciate you. And so we do this once a month. So it's about like the third Sunday of the month. So we just dedicated to mental health check-in and see where everybody is, you know, and we're going to ask you where you at today. And it's okay to say, yo, I'm not feeling well. Yeah. It's okay to say I'm not feeling well today. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for joining us, all right?
Thank you for letting me in. Thank you, guys. I look forward to talking to y'all again.
No problem.
Yes, man. Take it easy.
Bye.
All right. Genesis, we're gonna bring just sent you a request real quickly.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing today? How are you doing today? No lies.
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Like, I can't complain. I woke up feeling kind of weird, but at the end of the day, I can't complain, because it's like, I look at everything that's happening right now in my life, and I'm just grateful. So
there we are. Tell us what's going on. If you guys are just joining us, Poetic Genesis is an artist. Last time we talked to her, she was contemplating getting an investor for her project.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Good job.
I think I
said an investor for your project. How are those things going?
I think what you're talking about is somebody that said that they would invest in something I was doing. It was like I was gonna make reels with me working out and singing at the same time.
No. What we're talking about
was you mean, okay, a job.
The investor.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who's the investor? Okay, now it makes sense. So yeah. So I actually did apply to a lot of jobs. Just random stuff, because I'm like, I just need something right now. But I actually did end up getting the job that I would want. Yeah, I ended up getting the job I wanted anyways.
Hey, let's clap it up right there. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm trying to start my orientation this week. I had to wait for my new Social Security card to come in, but it came in. So I'm trying to do the orientation this week. And I became part of a dance team.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's to come in the future, but I'm just taking it one step at a time.
Have you noticed does dancing like, have you noticed like a boost in your mood when you dance?
A boost in what?
A boost like in your overall mood when you dance.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's sometimes I go in and I don't really necessarily feel like dancing, but it's like once I get in the motion of it, then it's like I can do it. Like I feel much better after. I love dancing. Like dancing gives me like a good feeling about myself. So
Right.
yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So let's see. How long has it been since Poetic was joining us? What's changed? You know what I'm saying? What's some of your wins?
Probably
Well, one of the wins was making the dance team because I am a beginner dancer. Like I've never taken dancing seriously on a professional level. So I'm learning how to dance on a professional team, and
Right.
if they deem me, you know, worthy of being able to perform at a game, then I can do that. But as of right now, I'm still in training. So, and the steps are very difficult too. So it's definitely a challenge, but you know, I've been working with them, and yeah, that's a win. Getting the job is a win. I just got this beat. My dad purchased a beat for me that I really wanted, so I'm gonna be making music very, very soon.
That's it.
Hey.
But yeah, I would say those are the major wins in my life right now. And a win is just waking up every day too. So
Yeah. Of course. Did you hear about the young man, Regina King's son, who passed away recently?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, he was a musician. He was a DJ, a musician. His music name is Desdune, Desdune. And again, there's a bunch of smiles on his Instagram and things like that. And you know, you would never know. He decided that life wasn't worth being here, and so he ended it. He ended it on his birthday, on Wednesday or whatever like that. And so that's kind of what, you know, that's kind of some of the basis of what we're talking about here is like, you know, the suffering in silence and the, you know, like whenever you hear some voices or whenever you're hearing whatever kind of going on, to express it to somebody, you know, like immediately, you know, and not to be like, you know, just kind of drowning it in drinking and things like that, so on and so forth. I ain't saying it's a problem in that. I ain't saying it's a problem in smoking herb or whatever like that, but there is a problem when these are coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm like, the one thing that we don't think about is, and I spoke with the sisters at, you know, Miss Pretty, is that we don't think about when we're in that mind frame of, I want to kill myself, I want to end it all. We don't think about like all of the pain that we're about to put everybody through, and that's an absolute fact. Like that's an absolute fact.
Yeah.
Like 100% fact. You know, that's what we're gonna do when so I ain't saying that you know, like I ain't saying that somebody doesn't have, if that's what you believe, that you don't have full control over what you do, but we need to think all about like GoFundMe. Somebody talk about GoFundMe. Every third like 1 out of 3 GoFundMes is for like a funeral or somebody's like medical cause. You know, like we're not like, people are not ready, you know, and people are not ready. And I'm just like, look, it is what it is, but
yeah, I've definitely been in positions where I wanted to definitely take myself out, but I'm like, there was always just something like keeping me here, like just something that was stronger than that feeling. And the feeling was strong, but I'm like, there was always something that was here that was grounding me and just getting me to focus. It's like if I have to crawl, then I have to crawl. But
there you go.
I can't just let life take me out. A lot of the time, it wasn't even just life. It was just me being in my head about a lot of things. Because mental health is a real thing. So a lot of the time, it's just me not being able to escape certain thoughts or whatever the case is, and just feeling like I'm alone and nobody can relate to this and type shit. Like I had to really think about it and think about who I would be hurting, and that hurts me to know. It's like after I do that, I can't make it right. There's no way I could take it back. So, and there's, you know, at that time, I had to kind of lie to myself, even though I didn't feel like it, feeling like there was a lot to live for. But, you know, part of me did believe it enough to still go with it. So, I'm still here today. I don't have suicidal thoughts. I am on a medication right now for bipolar. But, either way, like, I'm being treated right now and I'm in a better place mentally. So that's really all that matters.
Of course.
That's it.
100%. 100%. Max, you going to say something?
That mental stability, that's important, as long as you know that you have the resources or the people around you that could keep you in that state of mind. You won't look at it as you'll look at it as a temporary problem instead of just something that's going to hold you back for years and years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, like, I'm just like looking, and right now I'm calling out some of the brothers because it's been two strong sisters to come on.
That was the thought I had, man.
We've been over here pretending like we don't end up struggling with it, and it's not cool to be like, yo, I'm dealing with something right now. You know, I'm not feeling good right now. You know, I don't know if okay, put it like this: if a gentleman, Genesis, that you were interested in was talking about, I'm dealing with something right now. Are you gonna call him like a sucker? Are you gonna call him like, or how would you help him? How would you, what words of encouragement would you have for him?
It really depends on the situation. Like, if he's dealing with something, I would be like, okay, like, do you need to speak about it? Do you need to talk? Giving him the open space to feel like he can talk to me. But one thing I won't do is, if the person is talking about just wanting to just lay around and be like, I don't want to say a loser, but like just speaking negatively over their life, like, oh, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to pop pills and I'm going to do this. That's where I have to draw the line of what I, because I'm not going to allow you to talk about destroying yourself. Because I want you to be able to speak positively over your life. Yes, I'll give you the room to express yourself. I'm not going to judge you for saying it. But when it starts getting to that point, that's one, when you just talk to somebody. And two, I apologize for the noise in the background. That's one, where you need to talk to somebody, a professional, and two, I'm just going to remind you that I'm not going to let you go out like that.
Right. See, that's so important to have, like, the support groups.
Yep.
You know, I mean, everybody, like, what did we have? And I'm not saying that professional help is not important, and I'm also saying that me and Max are not professional therapists or anything like that, so that's a disclaimer. But again, 150 years ago, right, when some of our people were, in bondage and things like that, like, we had some tough stuff to go through. The reason why people are like, I want to kill myself, is like, I'm not about to, like, have me or my babies go through slavery no more. So, like, I'm about to, like, do that. But now it's like, like, damn, like, I don't think I'm good enough for, again, these limiting beliefs of self-doubt. That's why I created the Allia Affirmations booking system for music producers. Cause I'm like, yo, we struggle with that from not at the novice level, but once you start knowing a little bit about music production and how good you want to be, you start saying, dang, like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not like, whoever you're thinking about. And it's taken me a long time. Can I ask you a question? Are you in a rush? Do you feel like you're in a rush, Poetic, to get somewhere, in the music or anything like that?
I used to. When I was doing something else, I was on a different path, a different business path. I did feel like I was in a rush because I'm looking at my circumstances and, you know, the unresolved trauma and stuff that I had. I was trying to more so escape the trauma than escape the situation. Because the situation was like, okay, I'm being fed, I'm being taken care of. But the other situation is I am going through this trauma, childhood trauma, and just even recent traumas that it's like I feel like my family doesn't understand. I need to go out and be on my own and really just, you know, go deal with it. But what I wasn't realizing is I needed to be present instead of so focused on what's going to happen next. Because really that part of me, it was crucial for healing and not really so much I need to be successful like tomorrow type of thing. And that's where I learned the difference between people that are chasing success because of whatever reason, chasing success because of low self-esteem or whatever the case is, and people that are chasing success because it's just something that they're born to do. So right now I know that being a successful artist is something that I was born to do, but I had to leave the path that I was on, because the path I was on, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get money, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna go just do me. But that wasn't the right way to go about it. So
it's mad destructive. I see that like it happens all the time, and I'm glad, I applaud you that you figured out that early. And I know that you said you had some trauma, but trust and believe. If you had been able to make it out to LA or to make it out to any of these other places, like we talking about, like some serious, you know what I'm saying? Those are some serious things to deal with. There's some serious, like, you know, predators like out there for real. And they're just looking for men and women, whatever age, who trying to escape something, because they're like, come on right here.
Yeah.
I got everything that you want. Everything that you want. I got the dope. I got the drink. I got what you like. I got it all for you. And if you rise up too quickly and don't have like your in the book it talks about a millionaire squad, but if you're not even right now, like, what is it that you need? Who are the people that you need around you, right? And I ain't just talking about like sandbox friends, but I'm talking about like actual people and saying, yo, I need my motivator, I need my workout buddy, I need a vocal coach partner. You know, I need a music partner. I need all these things, and then also saying, what am I going to be to somebody else? Like that stuff is important. Knowing that you're going to be something to somebody else and that they actually need you, I think that's really important. You know, to say I have responsibility. Now I'm tired. You know, I'm tired as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, our ancestors were tired. But there was something driving them saying, we got to be here, you know, because if we don't be here, I hear little youngsters around you. I don't know if those are your children or siblings or family members.
That's my little brother.
Okay. Well, your little brother needs you. The thing about Regina King's son is that he happened to be an only child.
Yeah.
You know, he happened to be an only child, so sometimes there's not like sometimes it's not like I got a duty, you know, something that's bigger than me or whatever like that. So, you know, that's definitely like a blessing to be able to be successful, you know, and to be able to navigate this stuff, because your little brother, trust and believe, is like, I'm watching, 100% I'm watching. I'm watching how you deal with this. I'm watching how you succeed. I am watching 100%. And, you know, I think I think that it's amazing. And I think that we forget how amazing it is to experience life, like you said, being present, and then to also say, yo, life is bigger than just me. It's bigger than just me. That's where we get to that place in suicide, is we like, yo, things are just not going my way. I'm not going, you know, for me, it was like, I'm not a man. I had grown up with all women in my household, so I didn't know what it was all about. I wanted to be somewhere else financially. All of these types of things, all these narratives, you know?
Yeah.
But they're just not true. They're not true. Just live another day and see how you feel another day, positive squad around you. So, it's getting spicy real quick. Poetic, what can we see coming from you for
you're
in the
breaking up a little bit.
Can you see me? Hello?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Am I good?
You're on my end, it looks like you're going out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay.
You good now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying, what can we expect from you in the future? What wins can we expect from you in the future? Coming up. Let's
In
speak
the near
into
future or like the future?
Okay, well, so you got the instrumental from your dad invested in you and got invested in your project and said he was gonna, get the instrumental for you. When do you think that's coming out? I'm a firm believer right now, just in the music industry. I'm like, I would be pushing singles.
Yeah.
Like I'd be pushing singles and not try to go the whole like EP. I mean, have an EP like idea ready, but push the single. Because when can we expect that and see that?
A single, I'm looking towards like the beginning of the summer. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm thinking about this season. I want to put it out and thinking about the vibe. It's looking more like spring or maybe fall. Just because the way I saw the music video happening, like I wanted to have like a little coat on or whatever, but like I'll figure it out. But definitely expect a single from me. The song that I wanted to name it is Low Key.
Low Key.
Yeah, Low Key.
That's a bet.
Yeah, so expect that from me. I don't want to say expect a music video yet because I'm not sure if I want to release one this year or the year after, but yeah, definitely expect the single to come out.
Do you have an accountability partner?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay,
Not
what's
one
the kind
specifically
of
for music.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have like friends that hold me accountable for certain things, but for music, no.
So the main thing about putting out the single is the time frame because you wanted to do a video, or is it because of the vibe and the time frame?
It's because of the vibe. Like I have an ear for music, I have an ear for what people like to listen to and when they like to listen to it, because people like nostalgia at the end of the day. So I want to create that nostalgic feeling, but I have to execute it the proper way. So that's really the only thing. But I definitely wanted to come out this year because I really don't want to wait. And I can kind of create some hype around it in the meantime. I can still post the song and post me listening to it and other people listening to it. But the official song, the official drop, and the official video would just take some time to come out.
Okay. Yeah, I want to. It's really good. Okay. Did I time out?
Yeah, you did.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right. It's really good to have to again think about building that team. To be building that team, because if you are independent music producer, am I timing out? Seems like I'm timing out.
There's a bit of a delay, but we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, long story short is I want you to have that accountability partner. Think about investing into all of that type of stuff. Vocal coach. Think about investing into as not going broke, but calculated investments. Having a mentor. Having a mentor. People, we always look for, like, I highly suggest getting into the paid mentorship, not mine, but a paid mentorship, having a paid mentor, because we all know about the value of, I guess, putting in our time for money because we work jobs. you know, and things like that. So we know that exchange. So imagine, anyways. So I highly suggest investing into that, having someone to help kind of guide you even through getting to that single, because like iron down when you're gonna do it. If it's already spring, I mean, you probably spring. Let's see, it's almost. Just imagine if your campaign is 8 weeks, like from the promotion, you're gonna begin promotion. That means you're pretty much like almost like done with the music. But imagine the whole the promotional campaign is 8 weeks from the actual drop. So whenever it happens to be, plan 8 weeks out, you know what I'm saying? So that's 2 months out of that drop, you know, or whatever like that, and say, okay, this is what I'm doing, and then like you know, reverse engineer it, and really just honestly just come out with it. Because here goes the whole thing is that, yo, like there's been so much music that I've sat on, so much music that artists have sat on, and like I told you last time, people need to hear that story. Yeah. There's an obligation to people who need to feel that nostalgic vibe. And yo, honestly, having direction, clarity, and focus really like does great things for our brain. Like, you know, like we don't have the time to sit and think, oh shit, like, excuse me, oh, like what's going on with like my life, and do I, you know, I'm clear, I'm focused, I'm dedicated, I'm running the play. Yeah. So the sooner that you have that play to run, the sooner you know every single thing, man, is falling into line. So
I have the play, but it's just about tying it together. Because I have the ideas, I have all of that, but you know.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. I would definitely recommend a creativity coach. I mean, that's what I'm in the space that I'm in, a creativity coach. But yeah, it might make sense, it might not. But I definitely would recommend a creativity coach, because you've got all of the pieces. You just need someone to say, okay, let's put this here, let's put that there, so that you can actually get that project out, so you can get it to your fans, get it out in the universe, start attracting. Are you ready? Let me ask you this. Are you ready to be like, you know, in front of like 30,000 people, 40,000, 50,000 people?
I'm be honest. No, but that's the point of going to these different performances and performing at, you know, little, I don't know if they do it like coffee shops or just stuff that, you know, just to get comfortable. I've done performances before, but I still don't feel like I'm comfortable like with all the dancing and stuff. I've never been comfortable dancing in front of people, but I'm learning how to get comfortable doing that. So, you know, doing all of that, I think would definitely set me up for that road. But
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love that. That's so
humble beginnings.
No, for 100%. So often people like what's my guy's name? The Old Town Road dude, the Montero dude.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. Some of the worst thing that can happen to you is to catapult so far so quickly, because then you're gonna end up, you know, I don't know. I just think it's some hoe stuff, like the Industry Baby video. I'm like, that's some industry hoe stuff. Like, I'm like, you catapulted too fast. Is this artistry, or is this like, I got to do something? Because the industry will do that. Once they see something that's working, they want to like, okay, what's the next thing? And if you're an artist, you're like, well, it don't come like that. You know, I'm not a machine, but they're gonna want you to produce, and you're gonna be out there dancing naked, you know what I'm saying, with little stars on your nipples and stuff like that. Something crazy. Something crazy. But you know, again, that constant that gradual build, you know, is so important. And I mean, if you have family around you, yo, there's so many things to be grateful. There's so many things to be grateful for, and that gratitude at the beginning of the day, you know, literally like does set the, what is it? Is it gratitude sets your out, or is it attitude sets your altitude? I can't remember what the saying is, but gratitude, either or. Yeah. Gratitude, right? Right. Either or, you set that bar of gratitude at the beginning of the day, you know, and again, you might have some people who are going to drain that battery down and stuff like that, but you recharge your telephone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's made
exactly.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Go to sleep. You know, go into your meditative places. You know, do whatever you need to do, but talk to somebody, reach out, have those goals, have that consistency, you know, and just be kind to yourself on a consistent basis.
As
Mm-hmm.
long as you do, as long as you get better by 1% every day, you'll feel the
Yes.
difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these are
That's
habits I'm always practicing. I'm always practicing, you know, prayer. And I'm not talking about the prayer where you get on your knees and you're like, oh God, like please. Like I'm talking about it's like a meditative prayer. Like I'm sitting there meditating on what it is that I'm asking for, why I'm asking for it, and you know, then I just have to let it go. But I don't allow the negativity or anything to consume me. Like even when I came back, when I was talking to you guys and I was telling you everything that I was going through, at first that was starting to consume me because I would wake up and I would feel so heavy. Like I would feel like the pain in my stomach, the pain in my chest, all of that. And it was hard to do everyday things. Like it was hard to clean. It was hard to get up and just take care of myself. So I really had to push myself because I knew I didn't want to stay there. And that was really the propelling force of why I really need to get my music out this year. Like, if there's nothing else that I do, the music has to come out. Because I don't want to stay complacent just making singing covers. I want people to actually see me as a creative artist.
I love that.
There you go.
What music are you listening to? What songs are giving you the most inspiration? Do you listen to music like at the beginning of the day?
Not at the very beginning, but I do listen to music throughout the day. Yeah, I do.
Okay. What's some songs that you can again that you vibe into right now? You know what I'm saying? That are really like uplifting the spirit and things like that. Sending you positive vibes.
Positive vibes. It was actually a song by an artist. He didn't blow up yet, but it's called "Make It Up." He did a Neo sample. That song I hate. No, not I hate you. The song about the radio. It's like I hate that.
I'm so sick of love songs.
Yeah, sick of love songs. Yeah, exactly. So
It's a
he did
catchy
a
one.
yeah, it was very catchy. So he did a sample to that, and I was listening to that. I listen to a lot of like when I find something I really like, I'll listen to it over and over again, and I'll keep studying it and noticing different things about it. Like Bryson Tiller, I really like his music. Kehlani is one of my favorite artists. I listen to her music a lot. And I like Jhené Aiko.
She's dope.
Yeah.
She is dope.
I like her.
Yeah, she is. There's different vibes for different days, though. So, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I have a question. How important are collaborations at this stage of your career? Because that's
Very
something
important.
that can help you also as far as the writing process. Like if, let's say, you feel like you need to improve in certain areas whenever it comes to becoming a better songwriter, then you could learn from someone who has a lot more experience or even could teach you certain tips.
Yeah. Collaboration is very, like, I'm being very humble about it. I'm not even charging right now because I feel like it's more important. The value that I'm getting is more important than being paid in money right now. Like, when I have an established foundation where I can really run my stuff like a business, then that's when I'll start charging. But I feel like it's like kind of arrogant to just come out and just start charging just because I know I can sing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole bunch of people I could have did that too, but I'm like, nah. So I've been trying to set up different collaborations, people with different, like in different cities. There's a couple producers that are hitting me up and stuff like that. So, but I'm being humble about it at the end of the day.
That's great.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Make sure that you do know when you are going to charge. I'll definitely tell you that, but you know, like because that stuff that you don't end up charging, and then people get an understanding that you don't charge.
Mm.
That's what ends up, I mean, that's literally what ends up happening is that, that you don't end up charging. And then it's, you know, again, it's a part of like your business of knowing the music business and saying, okay, what is, I guess reasonable? Like it's kind of weird, but it's like, what is reasonable for the event that I'm doing or my specific, talent that I'm doing? And then also, honestly, some of the best stuff for artists to do is throw your own party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throw your own parties or link up with people who are throwing their own parties. Like if you got some homies and they throw parties and they're bringing out major artists, that's a really dope way to hop on the bill is be like, you know, have your friends who are the promoters pop you on the bill. You know, and say, listen, like, you know what I'm saying, let me just hop on the bill real quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need any money because that, people talk about this all the time. Hey, do this, do that, do this and do that because it's going to give you exposure. A lot of the times you got to weigh out, like, is it really giving me exposure or is it like just someone wants you to do something for free? But stuff like that is really good exposure. And you do have to operate you do got to operate as a business, even if you're like saying, because when I tell y'all nothing is for free, like not one thing is for free. Even your so-called free time is not free.
Yeah.
It's not free. You will never get that time back. So that's like I'm an avid believer in your time currency is the most precious currency that you have. So you will never get that stuff back. And, you know, what does it cost?
Yeah. I'm just looking at it as a student right now. I'm learning how to work with people. And
right.
I'm learning, you know, just networking in general. Like, who can I go to for this? And
Right.
who's good at this? So I've been finding all kinds of people, videographers, photographers. So I know who I can hit up when I need to put certain projects together. But as far as a manager, that's the only thing I'm kind of really missing right now. My dad's kind of micromanaging me right now, but I don't know. I might make him my manager. I'll really think about it because he's been in the entertainment industry for some time now. He hasn't blown up because he blew a lot of opportunities, but he has knowledge of how it works.
Yeah. Those are the perfect people. Those are the perfect people. Calvin, what's good, bro? Calvin, we want to know where you are, but we have to hop off this live too because but those are the best people because he knows the mistakes and what the artist needs to do is be able to give some of the business, to be able to delegate some of the business to somebody else who they trust. Yeah. That won't be essentially, you know, messing them over, you know. And honestly, like I said, your dad probably knows a lot of the shortcomings, right? A lot of the hiccups. And so that allows you to be able to focus more on your artistry because for the most part, the voice is an instrument. I don't know if you've ever performed like multiple shows, you know, in a day, but that thing gets itchy and scratchy. It's a, like, I realize why Beyonce's father used to have them like jogging around a track while they were singing. That stuff is not a game. And that's why we know Beyonce right now.
There's a science to it, you know?
Yeah, there's a science to it. You know what I'm saying? So even while you're doing your exercises and working out, you know what I'm saying, start, you know, singing the songs, at least just humming them, you know, because you don't want to sing fully until you're out. So, you know, it's a lot of like, it's just humming it or whatever like that, but getting your wind game up, you know, and really just being like, I'm about to perfect this. I'm about to perfect this, this instrument, which is my voice. You know, I'm going to perfect crowd control. You know, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna have people looking at more than just my tits and my ass. You know what I'm saying? Which is okay. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I'm just like, I'm gonna have people doing more than that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna be hearing this voice, and I love what her did. You know, as a person who came out, I love what she did.
Yeah, like she didn't let anybody see her when she first came out. It was just, let me just put out my music. And it was a really dope idea. And even now, she's still very conservative with how she presents herself. She's very modest. and she's beautiful. Like, people still listen to her just because of how beautiful her voice is.
Oh, okay. Oh, my guy Calvin said he's still battling his cold. Get well, bro. We want you to get well, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we are going to have to put this. We're gonna have to put a hairpin in this. You, madam, I want to hear. I'm gonna keep checking in with you. I want to hear. Oh, gotta grab. Okay, I want to hear when the main thing is that there's a lack of clarity as to when you're going to do some of that stuff. So you need to. I mean, even if it's your dad, you know, your dad. Get out of like, I'm not doing this for. You're not doing this for free. But there are some people who are like. Some people who can be a part of the journey, like all the way through, those people are more likely to say, yo, let me put in my money now. I mean, let me put in my time currency with you now so we can, and hold me down later on, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you're the quarterback, you know what I'm saying, of the team or whatever like that. You're the star of the team, but it takes a whole team to win a championship, right? So remembering that it takes the whole team to win the championship. But then there's other people who cannot go with you on the whole thing, but you do need them right away, or you need to get this, you need to add this skill. You know, so I want you to think about those investments, that the paid investments and the non-paid investments. Some of the best ways to get people to come out with you. Remember, I told you time is not money. Time is more expensive than money, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? But if you trying to get somebody, sometimes it's just asking. Sometimes you have to pay. And sometimes it's just like, hey, let me take you out to lunch. You know, let me take you out for a coffee or something like that. Somebody might have time for that. Yeah. You know, and it really happens to be like what it is. Let me just soak up some game. Let me just get some game about something. Let me just talk. You know, every now and then I have free clarity calls, you know, for the music producers kind of space or whatever like that. But, you know, I can definitely help out in those places or whatever like that. But, you know, you need that help with that direction. You know, you need to know who is playing what part on your team. And just go ahead and run the play. Like, get the music out, because, you know, like that's the craziest thing is that like people care, but nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the craziest thing. It sounds weird, but like, you need to get the music. People need to know that you're going to get this music out, and they need to be able to trust you that you're going to give them that music, you know? So they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you. So I can't hear you, Genesis.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. I was on mute. I said that's why I've been building that consistency with the music covers, because it's like before I was talking about it, but I wasn't posting it. So I'm like, nah, it's not good enough or whatever. But now it's like whether I like it or not, it's getting posted. It's like, because most people like it, regardless of how I feel about it. So, you know, just being consistent with my content, period. Just showing people that I'm putting myself out there. So when the music comes, like, they'll know what to expect, type of thing. Or maybe they won't. They'll be surprised. But either way.
You have that fan base. Let me tell you this. Yo, for real, people are scared to show themselves. People are scared to show themselves. That's why people look up at you on stage. If you've ever been on stage, people are looking down at people are looking up at you saying, dang, I wish I had the absolute guts to do that. So that's one thing I always want you to remember whenever you hop up on stage, is that there is a level of courage that is going on, and people are down there looking up and being like, yo, I wish that I could do that. I wish that I could hold my phone and record it and put it out. Because I got so many limiting beliefs going on. So I want you to, man, remember that. Some people don't have the confidence. Build your self-confidence, your stage, build your safe place. I didn't actually understand. Did you understand that, Poetic? I didn't understand that whole thing. Anyways, okay. Max left. His internet's acting spicy. I thoroughly appreciate you for coming on, beloved. Every single time you come in, I really want to see some amazing stuff happen from you and with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we put this thing out, and Max, I'm gonna let you come on in real quick and say peace out to the people.
Bye, y'all.
I'm playing Fortnite.
All right, see you. All right, see you, hon.
Shoot, man, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing, bro. How your internet be getting real spicy in Canada, bro. That's crazy.
Tripping, it's crazy, man.
That's crazy. Listen, guys, this is Soundboard Sundays episode number 34. Every third Sunday, we are dedicating a Soundboard Sundays to mental health check-in, where we reach out, we talk with the public, we hear what's going on, we hear your stories. We hear no guys today. Y'all guys, listen.
Come on,
I'm like, I understand it. I completely understand it. Like, being vulnerable is not praised in our community. Being vulnerable is not praised amongst being guys. But listen, let me tell you, it's gonna get you the bag. It's gonna get you the bag, the mental bag, right? That mental currency. And also probably put some money in your pocket, because people will say, yo, I resonate with that person. That actually helped me out. So, gentlemen, please come on.
Oh, we have one.
Again, like I said, please come on. Please come on next time. You know what I'm saying? We're out of time today, but please come on next time. Soundboard Sundays, where we put music producers, emerging music producers, and arising artists on the same page, with interviews, with content that we're bringing, some of the game that we've learned. And this Soundboard Sundays is sponsored by I Am a Music Producer. It is an affirmations audio book and system designed to give the music producer confidence, whether people are around you or not. And that is in my bio. I want a couple people to make that investment today. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. Max, what you got?
Yes. This Soundboard Sundays is brought to you by, I have an ebook called How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist, a guide to position yourself in a new digital entertainment economy. And essentially, the ebook is to help you attract more gigs in a way where you're going to learn how to be more professional when it comes to being an artist that wants to do gigs. Not only that, you'll learn about how to write an EPK, the importance to write an EPK.
Electronic press.
There you go, electronic press kit. And lastly, you want to learn how to have a show-ready mentality. And I talk about the psychology behind being show-ready, prepared before doing a gig. And it's only at $49.95. All you got to do is click the link in my bio. Once you get the ebook, you have a 50-minute consultation for one more week. So I only have 1 week left for a 50-minute consultation once you get the ebook at $49.95.
Excellent. And see, just like Genesis, if you're still on here, I definitely would. Has she gotten your ebook already?
Oh, yes, she got it.
Okay. Did she get the consultation?
Good question. Yes, she did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that is exactly your person needed on the team to do those types of things. Consultations. What should I be doing here? What should I do there? But again. We know, bro. Don't we know that when you pay attention? And so that's why we highly recommend people just getting used to investing in themselves and moving forward, moving the needle forward. 1% every time. All right. Appreciate you guys. The real Bruce. Wait, Brucey Bruce. Who is the real Brucey Bruce?
Great question.
I don't know exactly what Bruce that is, bro. But we appreciate you, bro. You late. Come on next time at 3 p.m. EST. Out.
Much love.